Welcome to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Tom, and it is a huge news day. Today, April 7th, Friday. We were going to do an Anything Goes Friday and take a lot of your calls on any topics, but I bet you're going to want to talk about two main ones today. There was 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched at an airfield in Syria by Donald Trump last night. And the Senate just confirmed Neil Gorsuch as a new Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, a lifetime appointment that I say has an asterisk next to it forever. So it's Justice Gorsuch asterisk. And, you know, we're going to be talking about all of that. I'm very happy to be joined in studio by Washington Director of MoveOn.org, Ben Wikler, who's going to help us make some sense of this. And also, we were going to talk about Resistance Recess, which starts next week, and we're still going to talk about that. Now, I feel it's now more than ever. We need to make sure that people's voices are heard.
Absolutely. So, yeah, there's a lot that's happening right now, and what's about to happen is one of these prime opportunities to actually hold Congress to account, tell your representatives, tell your senators what is on your mind, make sure they do not try to repeal your health care again, praise Democrats who actually stood up and filibustered Gorsuch. That was essential, even though he's been confirmed. Democrats put up a fight and demonstrated that it is totally not legitimate to steal a Supreme Court seat and then confirm a lifetime appointment for someone who's under FBI investigation for possible collusion with Russia in his campaign, especially someone who's a extremist, pro-corporate, attacks on basically women, workers, everybody type of judge. And then also now we should be going home during the recess and telling everyone in Congress that they need to demand a debate on an authorization to use military force, because presidents are not supposed to commit acts of war without approval from Congress.
So let's focus on that aspect of it. Just to set it up, and we talked about this a little bit, I think the most dangerous thing in any foreign policy is uncertainty and not being clear. And the United States right now is the definition of uncertainty and not being clear. Donald Trump went in to meet with the premier of China, and he's like, oh, no one knows what's going to happen. That's the statement. 5 days ago, our stated policy on Syria was that we didn't like Assad, but we were not going to pursue regime change. Now, 3 days after the stated policy that there'd be no repercussions, there is a chemical attack in Syria, almost certainly by Assad against his own people, which is something that we've seen before by that regime. But the information's not done or anything. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump changes 180 and says now the policy is regime change. And then he launches these missiles without 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles, launched it at an airfield. Now, I believe that they told Russia, who told Syria that they were going to do this so that there were no military casualties. But this is so all of that. And he did it without talking to Congress. And I think that is where there is some pressure points.
He didn't even talk to most of his administration. So it's worth reviewing, why does predictability and certainty and clarity matter? Part of it is because when you do things, there are consequences to those things. So in this case, him saying that he doesn't really want regime change anymore, that basically said to Syria, you have a free hand to do whatever evil thing you want. And then they did this chemical weapons attack, which was, probably at least in part a test of whether they could do whatever the hell they wanted now. So now Trump bombs them. And now we don't know what the hell the policy is, including different advisors. One of them said there's no significant change in the United States posture. And another one said this should be a big shift in Assad's calculus.
Right.
And are we building an international alliance? Are we just doing whatever comes into our heads? Who knows? So why does it actually matter whether things are predictable? One, people react based on what they think you're going to do. And then two, if you want to have alliances, which is a very good idea in the world, the allies only want to come with you if they think they understand what your plan is. So this is it freaks everybody out. If you just randomly start firing missiles, without consultation, without public denunciation, what have you, you're just possibly liable to, attack whoever. What the hell does that say to people who are trying to be allies with you on stuff, especially if it's like a complicated alliance, which a lot of them are.
And, Syria is a lot of the like public statements by the Trump administration on almost everything are, they're like as sophisticated as like a 14-year-old's who, watched one piece of news. And so that's what I see with Syria. Syria is one of the most complex, most bizarrely, you're allies with people who you're also fighting over here, and we're not going to try to go through it because it's so complicated. There is literally no easy answer at all, and this administration is like the king of pretending that there is just, if you just tried harder, it's just an easy answer here. This is going to be, we do not know what the consequences of this are at all.
That's right. So we can all hope and pray that it is what the administration is describing, which is he uses chemical weapons, he gets slapped, he doesn't use chemical weapons again, that's it. But frankly, dropping missiles in Syria is like stomping around in a room full of dominoes. Like, you don't know, if you knock down a bunch of these dominoes, you don't know what they're going to knock over next. And like, the worst case scenario is that this leads to some kind of retaliation, which leads to like other countries getting involved, which leads to the United States being pulled in. Like,
other countries getting more involved.
More involved. Yeah, exactly.
We have geopolitically, Russia is involved specifically because of Assad. Also, Iran is involved with Russia. You have, I was saying, we're not going to try to diagram it out, but just a little bit. Russia in a new partnership with Turkey. So Turkey used to be much more allied with the U.S., and then they decided that the Kurds in northern Syria,
who are our big allies,
were more of a threat to them. So they moved and shifted more over to be with the Russians, away from being allied,
and we have this on again, off again alliance with Turkey that's really complicated. Like, there's a lot of dominoes here. And
right next to Syria is Iraq, where the ISIS was basically formed after the invasion of Iraq, and a lot of the police state leaders under Saddam Hussein. There's a great Der Spiegel article about it. Went on. This is like the police state, secret police of Saddam Hussein are involved in creation of ISIS. It is a paramilitary force that definitely comes from the chaos caused by the Iraq war, which is next to Syria and is still active, ISIS is in between these two states.
Straddling them, It's on both.
And now Donald Trump, a 180 in 5 days on the foreign policy, and then launches these cruise missiles in. So now I think we gave a little bit of the complexity. All of it was without any consultation or authorization by Congress. And I think, again, that is where people can really, and there are allies on that point of view on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I'm going to upgrade from dominoes to saying this is like striking a match in a room full of gasoline, and then throwing it over your shoulder. Like this, we hope this doesn't ignite anything giant. It could ignite all kinds of stuff. And like, if it does, it is so completely on Trump's head, because what you're supposed to do if you're going to attack another country, according to our Constitution, is go to Congress. It's only Congress can declare war on countries. And like firing Tomahawk missiles at a country is an act of war. So this was not constitutional. It was illegal. It was not with congressional approval. And when Obama wanted to do almost exactly this, he went to Congress to get an authorization for the use of military force. And that wound up being like coming up close to a vote and then being pulled because of this, agreement with Syria to remove their chemical weapons, which seems pretty clear at this point they didn't actually do. But like, what you're supposed to do is what Obama did, which is to talk to Congress about it. And that's exactly what Trump just totally failed to do. And what's dangerous here is not just that it might be a disaster in itself. It's that Trump might get addicted to war.
And I want to really touch on that point a lot of what is this going to do for give Trump, if he's going to like the response, and then he's going to want to do more. And that's what's so dangerous. We're going to keep talking with Ben Wikler from MoveOn.org on the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, and we'll be right back.